Sunday nights. You're here in the beautiful studios of the Commissioner's Cove in beautiful downtown Cranford, New Jersey. I am the Commissioner, and I will be your host, your guide, your Sherpa, if you will, down this journey of Dynasty Fantasy Football. And to my right, as always, a man who needs no introduction, but always likes to hear one anyway, the General Zod to my Superman, the Co-Commish.
How are you?
Co?
I'm doing well, man.
Yeah,
Thank
good,
you for
good.
having me today.
Oh, thanks again for letting me use your studio.
No worries.
So if you're ready, let's just jump right into this. We have a lot to talk about.
We sure do.
So sit back, relax, and listen to those distinguished gentlemen talk about fantasy football, which,
We enjoy to do.
yes, we do. So before we get started, last week we couldn't get together.
No.
We had a lot of scheduling difficulties.
Yeah, it was tough.
League business took, priority. Sorry, guys, we couldn't come to you last week. But let me tell you, for long story, short story long. Let me do it that way. I'm going to explain to you what happened to me. So obviously, I was 0-3. I wasn't looking good, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I had to call an emergency meeting of the entire executive organization.
Mm-hmm.
All of us, me, myself, and I, all of us. So we got together, we brainstormed, and we said, what's wrong with our team? 0-3 is not looking good. I wasn't panicking, but I was starting to get a little nervous.
Right.
So what I had, we did a little bit of analysis, and we came out, we had two things wrong with us.
What was that?
Number one, our defense was horrible. We gave up the second most points in the league. That wasn't good. Secondly, we found out that our players weren't performing up to par, right?
Mm-hmm.
We found out that they were a little dehydrated.
Dehydrated. Okay.
So we said, we need to do something to fix this. So we were rifling through the phone book and the Rolodex.
Mm-hmm.
That's old school.
That is old school.
So and we came up with a name. We had this person come in. We did an interview. Looked really, really good. I mean, it went a little crazy, talking about his mama and something about Abdullah Oblongata. I don't know what he was talking about, but it looked good. So we hired Bobby Boucher to come in to be our defensive coordinator / executive hydration specialist.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. That's
H2O?
right. He has some high quality H2O.
All right.
So guess what?
What's that?
It worked.
Yeah, you came out with a victory.
Came out with a victory. He had the least amount of points scored against us. Defensive prowess came up. Hey, we didn't score a lot of points, but I'm not going to argue about that. We still won.
That's true.
So, sorry, Brief Mode. That was all due to Bobby Boucher.
Bobby Boucher. I've always said I'll take a ugly victory or a beautiful loss any day.
Yes. So, real quick, one of the things that we did on League Business, right, was to go out and find some sponsors, right? So,
Who do we have this week?
We have a sponsor this week.
Who is that? I can't wait to hear it.
Hold on, let me take a sip.
All right.
Okay, our sponsor this week, Cincy Sam Spicy Cincinnati Chili. Yes, it is. He's the new kid on the block and ready to take on the big wigs, the establishment. So look out, Price Hill, Express, and Skyline. Cincy Sam is coming your way.
Is he right?
Yes, he is.
Cincy Sam.
He's coming your way with a mild, medium, hot, and nuclear spicy chili. So come in and visit and get your bowl or on a dog. It's the next best thing next to Joe Burrow's hair color in Cincinnati.
Which is what? It's yellow,
I don't know
but
what
it
it
looks
is.
red anyway.
It's spicy, just like the owner.
All
All
right.
right. So thank you, Cincy Sam, for sponsoring that for us.
Thank you, Cincy. I appreciate it.
One last order of business before we dive right in.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is spicy, and Cincy Sam came up with a new thing this week.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get our take on it right now. So, I'm gonna present something to you. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I have before me the ADP for the top 12 consensus ADP, first 12 picks of the first round of this past draft,
Okay.
fantasy draft, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm listening.
So after 4 weeks, right, a quarter of the season's gone essentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many of these 12 players will finish in the top 12 in their respective position, all right? This is the spicy take of the week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sponsored by Cincy Sam.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to start with number 12 first.
Go ahead.
Garrett Wilson. Right now, he's wide receiver 39. Hasn't finished in the top 28 so far this year. Will he be in the top 12 before the end of the year?
No.
No. Okay. I'll take that as a no.
All right.
Jonathan Taylor, RB6. Will he finish in the top 12 this year?
Yes.
I'll take that as a yes. A.J. Brown, currently, he had a great first game. Got injured in practice after that, so he's currently wide receiver 72, but that's because of injury. Will he make a comeback and be in the top 12 before the season's over?
Yes.
Saquon Barkley, ADP number 9. Right now, he's running back number 2. Will he stay there?
Yes.
All right. Justin Jefferson, currently, he was picked 8th ADP, currently wide receiver 3. Will he stay there?
Yes.
Jamar Chase, wide receiver 10. Is he going to stay in the top 12?
Yes.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, wide receiver 7. Is he in the state in the top 12?
Yes.
Brees Hall, RB 15. He was taken 5th. Is he going to be top 12? He's right now he's 2 out of it.
I think he
out of it.
I think he is going to finish top 12 because the running back position is not strong.
Okay. Bijan Robinson was going number 4, but he's RB 20.
I don't think so.
The other Robinson, Brian Robinson, is actually ahead of him.
Yes, I don't think Bijan finishes top 12.
Tyreek Hill, wide receiver 27.
No. Without Tua, no.
CeeDee Lamb, currently wide receiver 12. He's going to stay there.
Yes.
And Christian McCaffrey, I think we could both say he's not going to make it into the top 12.
He's not.
All right. So, would you in any way now that so 1, 2, 3, probably 3 people of the 12 are not going to be in the top 12 in their position.
Yep.
Would you have done anything differently? What's your spicy take on? Would you have done? Look, considering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, would they still be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 if you had to redraft right now?
I still think I still think you still draft them in the same spot.
Really?
Yeah. Not next year. I'm saying this year you still draft them in the same spot. I don't think you make any changes.
Would all right, knowing what
what you know now? No,
yeah, knowing
no.
what we know now, would obviously McCaffrey wouldn't be number 1, but would you put CD first? Would you put Brees first? Would you put Amon-Ra, Jamar, Jefferson?
Overall?
Yes.
No. I will go wide receivers overall.
All right. Which one?
Out of this list here?
Out of this list.
Probably either CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
That would be your first 3?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Those would be my first 3.
All
I'll give you
right.
the most points and most consistent.
Well, so far, yes. And then, I'm not going to argue with you. Would you, I don't know, Brees Hall is struggling a little of late, but
Yeah.
So basically, no running backs would go in the top 4.
No. Absolutely not.
All right. Well, thanks, Coach, for your
Now you're welcome.
for your opinion.
Thank you. You're well welcome.
You're gonna make a name for yourself in this business. All right, let's go jump into the recap.
Let's go.
Hey, listen, I know some of you were calling the league office wondering, hey, what the hell? You guys aren't going to, it was coincidental that, we were wrong in some of our picks and we weren't going to announce it. But I put it out there in the league group chat. I made sure everyone knew what we went last week.
Could you repeat them?
I will repeat them. All right. So, let's see. I got to find it here in my.
I think you went over, didn't you?
I went over for that week. Yes. Yes.
We got a little special request this week.
Yeah, in week 3, I was 0 for 6 and you were 3 and 3. All right. Which brought our overall records to 2 and 10 for myself and 8 and 4 for you. All right.
Hurt.
It's chilly out there, but it goes par for the way my team was performing. But Bobby Boucher is going to take care of all of that now.
Yeah,
all right.
Let's
all
get
right.
to it.
So we didn't announce our results, but we also didn't announce who our picks were. So we did off air. We picked them, and this week I'm happy to say I made a comeback.
What'd you go this week?
5-1.
Oh wow. Where'd I go?
5-1.
Oh, there it is. 5-1.
Yeah.
5-1.
So overall, I'm 7-11, and you're 13-5.
Sounds good to me.
All right, so we'll get to our picks for
Let's
next
go.
week's games,
Let's go.
after
Who
this.
do we have game number 1
But
for
let's
recap?
go over the recap. And what is the first game? So CD's nuts against Scary Guys. So it was 139 to 117. Scary Guys put up some good points, but it just wasn't enough. So if you can see there, led by Pickens, Pollard, CeeDee Lamb, and Burrows, CD's nuts had to come back there.
He sure did. He needed that victory. Let me tell you, he needed that victory. Tied up. He's 2-2 now.
Yes.
He made some great choices there. With Jordan Love back, they didn't give Jacobs the ball. They were down anyway, so they were comeback mode. So I think Jacobs still featured in the offense, but it just shows you that Jordan Love can air the ball out. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
Drake London had a pretty decent game. 6 out of 12 targets, not bad at all. Jake Ferguson gave him 11, which was nice. Pickens got a nice little game with Fields in the game, but I don't think they're gonna start Wilson anymore as long as they're winning. And then T Higgins. Higgins made a nice little comeback with 12 points. He's starting to come back, and we'll see how they utilize him throughout the year.
Yeah, Pickens was an interesting development over there. I mean, Fields did throw for over 300 yards, so that's an unusual thing to see. So
And
good for
ran it.
Pickens, though.
Yeah, good for Pickens.
But yeah, he basically had an overall good game. See these nuts. He needed that. On the other side, scary guys. Listen, you have a lot of guys underperforming. I don't need to tell you that. I have Pat Mahomes in a different league, and I'm not impressed.
Listen, I've said to you,
I know he's MVP. I know he's a stud. I know he's probably a Hall of Famer, but he hasn't had the last year and a half has not been good.
So I did a little research off the air. He only had 2 20-point games coming back from last year, back to back. Last year.
Yeah.
I think week 5 and 6 of last year. He has had 20-point games 2 weeks in a row since.
Yes, I know.
So Pat Mahomes, the name is good. The name is fantastic. He's a Hall of Famer, MVP, Super Bowl MVP. But I'm talking about fantasy-wise, he's an average quarterback. Baker Mayfield is better than him right now.
Well, he's not even in the top 12.
No.
So it speaks to what you were saying.
So you know what? You keep running that name out there, no problem. Give him 13 points, and then you hopefully, still lose your games.
Well, he had a couple of underperformers,
Saquon.
unfortunately, with him. Saquon didn't show up. He wasn't there.
Saquon wasn't there.
Yeah, Achane.
The offensive line is terrible in Miami right now. They got to get it together, and they didn't utilize Achane well. They just try to run him between the tackles all the time, and then they utilize them screens, dump off passes, slot receive. They're not doing anything. They're trying, but they're just not getting him the ball.
And what about his ankle? I heard he was nursing a little bit of an ankle
a little
injury.
bit.
Is that true? Is that why Jalen Wright was in the game?
No, Jalen Wright was in the game because Wilson wasn't playing. He got hurt in warm-ups, which
Okay.
means that you should really get rid of Wilson and
You
Mozart.
listen, current state of the Dolphins right now. Obviously, you're worried about all the skilled players.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked you this off air. Are they going to do something?
No, I don't think they're gonna make a change.
And then they're willing to give up on the year?
I think they are.
Wow.
They want it.
After week 4.
Well, they're 1-3. They're not going to give up any assets. They're going to give up any picks. I think they'll probably trade, just hold on and maybe trade off Tyreek Hill like you and I talked about.
Is Tua coming back?
He says he is week 8, so it's going to help people out.
Okay.
We'll see.
Listen, another big disappointment. Let's go back to scary guys. Kyle Pitts, 0 points.
Horrible.
Are we giving up on Kyle Pitts?
I've said I would never draft him again, and I was
We're
right.
going to get fooled again.
Never.
No.
DeAndre Stewart had a great game. Okay,
Yes.
he had a great game, 28, 29
Yeah,
points.
just when you're done with DeAndre Swift, he pulls you back in.
Now, the one I'm a little nervous about is little Singletary right there. Only 4 points, only 14 carries, 24 yards, 1 reception. That's not good for your number 1 running back, which leads me to believe that they might have to take a look at a little Tyrone Tracy in there.
You keep hoping that, all
Okay.
right? I'm telling you, as long as Devon Singletary is healthy, he's going
Okay.
to be in the rotation.
Keep losing.
I am not. Listen, we didn't lose because of Devon Singletary.
I hear you.
All right, so let me just say, I'm a little upset because the offensive line was supposed to have been a lot better than this,
Same old.
and you figured that the Giants were coming in. Dallas's defense is in shambles.
Yeah, well.
2 of their players went out, and we still couldn't run the ball.
Well,
Not
listen,
good.
It is what it is. And then everyone else, Diggs had a pretty good game, Pitts 0, and then Singletary horrendous, and then the linebackers. So that's what we have for scary guys.
Well,
and-
scary guys is what, like we said,
2 and
2 and 2. Both teams 2 and 2.
All right,
Let's go to the next game.
Butter sausage.
Buttered sausage.
He's got a monster little team there.
Yes,
He's got a lot
I
of wide
told you
receivers.
this the other week. He's got a stable of horses
Yes,
in
he
his
does.
wide receiver core.
Can't play
and-
them all, though.
No,
You can't play 'em all.
You're gonna have to trade one of them off.
You can't play them all. right.
But anyway, listen, you can't. There was no weakness in his team this
No.
past week. Everyone contributed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
go ahead. You want to who you
Well, 167 to 126. Butter Sausage beats Semi-Retired.
Mhm,
Butter Sausage goes to 3-1 atop their division, and Semi-Retired is 2-2 in the pack. It's an overall strong performance by everyone, paced by his wide receivers, obviously.
Of course. And his
And-
running backs, little Brian Robinson
listen,
did
Brian
well.
Robinson's been Mr. Consistent over
Yes, he
there.
has.
We predicted that he would have a good game because Eckler was going to be out.
Yeah.
But there was another guy who stole a little bit of thunder, who someone picked off the waiver wire.
I sure did.
Yeah, so
A little foresight in there. That's called a veteran move,
Yeah.
Mr. McNichols.
yes, you beat everyone to the punch there.
Sure did.
That's why you're the co. But overall, listen, it was a great performance by Butter Sausage again. And semi-retired, and he falls to 2-2, and he's got some worries. Bowers didn't show up, and everyone predicted, he was going to have a great game because Devontae wasn't there. Zay Flowers.
I've said it. I've told you this. I've told you that Zay Flowers is not the guy. You kept saying, nope, it's going to be his year. No, it's not. It's the same Zay Flowers.
No.
Okay.
So what are we going to overlook the fact that all they did was run the ball?
Doesn't matter. He's still number one.
Yeah, but no one got the ball. Mark Andrews is supposed to be a top 5
He
tight
hasn't
end.
gotten the ball in 4 weeks.
He had one target.
He hasn't gotten the ball in 4 weeks. I'm
All right.
sorry. He's not a focal point of the offense.
All right, so let's to continue on that
Brian-
topic.
Go ahead.
Ayuk, he's not the
Horrible.
focal point of the offense.
He is. I don't understand why. They're double teaming him. Okay. The guy got paid for number one money, so he better perform in number one money, which he's not doing for semi-retired. But semi-retired, you're a little tough to deal with on the trade market. You know what I mean? If you're hurting,
Hey, come on, Cole. This is not a platform
Yes,
to
it is.
air our grievances.
it is. It is the platform. If you're looking to upgrade your team, send out some offers. Because Mr. Spears is hurting, Ayuk is hurting, Flowers is hurting. We got some wide receivers you can upgrade on if you're willing to part with some players. Jesus, instead of a person you have on the bench. You know what I mean? So that's besides.
You want to make another comment about how Bijan Robinson is not worth
Horrendous. He is not worth the number one pick overall. He is just not. Bijan Robinson, I say right now, is probably a flex player. He really is a flex player. He's a flex player. He's a name.
And you want to know something? He's dealing with an ankle like that. Or a
Yes,
hammy,
he is.
something like
and guess
that.
who has Tyler Algier?
I don't know.
Mr. Blue Samurai.
Who are we talking? Are we giving plugs here? Are you trying to induce a trade?
Well, you never know. You got to spice up the league a little bit, you know?
Cincy Sands, spicy chili.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so let's move on to the next game.
Knights of Krypton versus Team Buff Fumble. Team Buff Fumble, where have you been? I don't understand.
Well, listen, I just want to say thank you for being the only 0-14, not me.
Team Buff Fumble, you might have to trade some people. Call me. You know my number.
You're just itching to make a trade. That's all.
I'm always looking to make a trade.
Anyway, Knights at Krypton here. He goes to 2-2, but Fumble falls to 0-4. Knights Krypton 165 and 121 for Butt Fumble. It's not like he's not putting up any points. It's just never enough every week.
Yeah. And let me tell you, who's hurting him right now is Garrett Wilson.
Yes.
Hurting him.
Yeah, we went over what we did earlier before. I mean, he's sitting at he's definitely he hasn't finished top 28.
No.
That's wide receiver 2 numbers right there. That's worse than wide receiver. So right now he's a wide receiver 3. Really?
Listen, Garrett Wilson's the type of guy when you're looking at your lineup and you say to yourself, I got to start somebody else over him. You know what I mean?
Well, unfortunately, he's looking like Tyreek Hill right now.
Well, yeah. But he's got Aaron Rodgers. He should be throwing him the ball, but he's not.
Aaron Rodgers looks like he's got 2 gimpy legs.
Yeah, well,
he's been getting hammered.
But he sure is. The offensive line was supposed to be the strength of their freaking team.
That's right.
Oh, well. So, Jordan Mason, obviously, as well, he's one of the studs. Call me. Aaron Jones is doing well. Garrett Wilson's hurt. Michael Pittman with the starting of smoking Joe Flacco.
Yes. I
Okay,
know.
Pittman does well.
Yes.
Laporta's hurting him. Laporta, what is going on with Laporta?
Well, a lot of things. He had the ankle injury, and
keep
really,
hearing-
they didn't even need him in the game.
Well, they don't even game script for this guy no more. It's just
No.
nothing. And
And
then,
then he's hurting with his other wide receiver, Mooney, who really doesn't have a deep bench. And then the other thing that struck me was his defense.
yeah.
1 point between 2 guys. That's not going to help.
Yeah, I'm surprised. And Aiden Hutchinson right there. And then Justin Tucker, you might have to drop him, We'll see. But he's got Kareem Hunt. He's got Dalton on the bench. He's got some good quarterbacks to plug and play. He really does. Madison's probably going to start over Mr. Zamir White. He has both of them. He sat them both down. And Devontae Adams is looking for a trade. So if he gets traded, there you go. You might as well trade him. Somebody call me. Ray McLeod did well. Dortch, Pat Fryermuth. You might be starting Pat Fryermuth over Laporta. And look at that. That's a good little pickup in the draft.
He's going to have to do it this week because Laporta's on a bye.
Yeah, and then Bobby Wagner on the bench with 10 points. Sorry to hear that.
Well, listen, this is what we get when we made comments about this before about playing defensive linemen.
Yep. Well, nobody listens.
No one
to us.
listens to us.
Jerry Jeudy, on the other hand, did well. Cooper is Cooper, but Deshaun Watson. Kittle. Nico, number 1 wide receiver in the game right now. He's a stud.
Yes.
Mike Evans still a stud. He's a long tooth individual we talked about all the time. And then there goes King Henry.
I don't know. What particular person predicted he might get 20 touchdowns?
We'll
this
see.
year?
Well, he's on a roll. He must be butter because he's on a roll. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Gibson.
No way, Joe. He's too old.
All right.
No
We'll see. We'll see what
way.
happens, Mr.
Listen, I will say this about Knights of Krypton. It's
Hmm.
ballsy to start two wide receivers from the same awful team with an awful quarterback.
Yeah, well, you know
Paid
what?
off for him, but
It paid off for him. It paid off. He sure did. Hey, you don't question the champion of the league.
oh, he scored 165 points.
Sure
Yeah,
did.
I can't
So
question
good
that.
for you. You went 2-2, and Team Buffalo fell to 0-4.
Yeah, unfortunately. Let's move on.
Oh, the next game. Who we have on the docket here? Who
We
is
have the King's Gambit
Oh.
against the Blue Samurai.
the Blue Samurai? Oh, good
Blue
Lord.
Samurai puts up 165 points. He beats King's Gambit 165 to 109.
King's Gambit's hurting
By
right now.
by all accounts, it was a bloodbath.
Yeah.
and the sword was bloodied.
Oh, nobody wants to hear that garbage.
He does.
I know.
So let's see. I have some notes on here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Murray had a bad game.
Yeah.
All right. Mike Wilson, Waddle, all bad. King's Gambit is you
He's
know,
hurting a wide receiver.
He is. He's worthy.
time.
Worthy gave him enough, but it wasn't enough to matter.
Yep.
He's good for a wide receiver 3, but he's hoping that he's much more. It's not happening.
Nope.
Jameer Gibbs came to play, but again, it was just not enough for his team.
Mm-hmm. Baker Mayfield, 32 points. You might have to start more with Kyle Murray.
You might have to start thinking about that.
Yeah.
You know, you might have to stream depending on your matchup.
Yeah.
And Fields, Fields had an extraordinary great day. But hey, these are all trade,
Did you say
chips.
trade?
These are all potential trade
Nope.
chips. There are people out there hurting at quarterback.
Yeah, well.
So is it too early to trade? This is going into week 5.
It's never too early to trade.
Hear me out here, Cole.
Mhm.
All
I'm
right.
listening.
There are 2 3-1 teams. There's an 0-4 team and a 1-3 team. Everyone else is 2-2.
Mm-hmm.
No one's given up on their team at this
No
point.
way,
At 2
not
and
yet.
2. They're only 1 or 2 games out of a playoff spot, if that,
Mhm.
or even 1 game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that the reason why you don't see a lot of good trades right now is because I think everyone still feels like they're in it.
No, that's fair. That's a
You know,
fair
no
point.
one's willing to give up on guys that last week really produced and this week just laid an egg.
That's true.
Look at Zay Flowers, first game of the year. Look at Isaiah Likely, first game of the year, 27 points, right? And where has he been?
A
since?
dud.
Yes.
A zeros.
So anyway,
Nowhere to be found.
Blue Samurai, on the other hand, Kenny Walker. Good to get him back, right?
Yeah.
Welcome back, Kenny Walker.
Welcome back, Kenny.
3 touchdowns.
Welcome back.
Lamar, Amon-Ra, and we got to stop giving away free advice.
Yeah, we sure
You
do.
know, Lad McConkey, really?
I know.
Come on.
I know. Enough with the phone calls.
Yes.
No
Yeah.
more advice.
No more. We can't do that.
Can't do that no more.
We do that on the show. You
Yeah.
take it from here, and
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
All right. So great overall performance by everyone on this team. Congratulations, Blue Samurai. You are now 3-1. You're
Yeah.
up there with there's only two other guys.
Three.
3-1.
3 people.
3 people. Yeah.
All right. Let's
It's gonna be tough.
Let's move on. If I can get this.
What's the matter? You having trouble with the board?
Yes, I am having trouble with the board.
Okay. Or which game are we gonna go to? We're not gonna go to my game because we already know it. It was an awful game. All right. Let me just make a comment about our game. I played Brees mode. Brees mode. I'm sure you would like to forget that game. The lowest amount of points in the league this week. You were on the review when no one wants to be there. But you know what? I didn't score that many either. I only scored 108, which we were the 2 lowest scoring teams in the league this week.
Who was?
We just happened to be playing each other. Myself and Brees mode.
Brees mode. And let me tell you something. He fell off the earth right now.
He did. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. How 2 weeks can make you feel like a superstar. Everyone's performing. Then 2 weeks later, everyone just disappeared. And you're wondering, these are the same guys that I drafted and did so well? Can't be, right?
No.
So, but anyway, listen. Basically, both these teams underperformed. I really don't know how I won. I'm just going to give credit to Bobby Boucher and my executive team.
Let's talk about your team a little bit, though.
No, I don't want to talk about my team.
I want to
There's
talk about
nothing there.
I'll talk about
There's
your team. I will talk about your team. Just for a second. C.J. Stroud came to play.
You're the kiss of death, guy.
Let
me tell you guys
Oh,
something,
my
right?
God.
First of all, we're sitting watching the game. You're having a couple of cigars. All of a sudden, this guy's flicking ashes on my side, on my chair.
That's
all
not
over
true.
My jacket. And the next thing you know, he was talking about how people getting hurt. Rashee Rice gets an injury. Listen, I don't want
You
to talk,
believe in
you
divine
cannot
intervention.
talk about my team.
All right, I'm talking about your team. C.J. Stroud came to play. He looked good out there. You started Braylon Allen, Braden Allen. He gave you 5 points. It's kind of that shows that your team is really lacking for. You need a running back. You know what I mean? Really. And then Jerome Ford did well, but Nick Chubb is going to be coming back. I don't think he bites into Jerome Ford's playing time. I think they might split when he does come back because that knee injury was horrific. Then you lost Rashee Rice. I think you lost him for the year. Then Brian Thomas Jr. He looked good, 21.9 points, looked really good. And then Isaiah Likely, you're going to be starting Kraft from here on in. Shakir did okay, 4 out of 5, 62 yards. Okay, the problem is he's nursing a little ankle injury, but they say he's going to be okay. Then Rome Dunze only gave you 2 points. And what are we going to do with Rome Dunze? Is he going to have a fantastic week one week, and he's going to have a horrible week next week? We can't do with this inconsistencies. Hold on, let me look at your bench real quick, who you may start. Herbert is a little hurt, and he's banged up. Howell, Bucky Irvin. I think from here on in, you might have to start Bucky Irvin over Allen. Okay, then Stevenson. We talked about Stevenson. You loved him. I hated him. And then Goodston. We'll see now with he's the backup to Trey Sermon. He is horrible. I'm sorry, you keep selling him that. He's garbage. Chase Brown. Chase Brown is good. You might start Chase Brown. We talked about Chase Brown during the pre-draft, drafting this guy. We've always liked Chase Brown. We did.
Yes.
Now, I think he fits the offense a little bit better than Moss does because of the catching out the backfield. And it showed it. It really did. I mean, 2 or 3 receptions, 12 yards, but you know what? 15 carries, 80 yards, and
2 touchdowns.
And he looked good. Now, Brees Mode. Yeah, we don't want to talk about Brees Mode. Brees Mode is hurting right now. Brees Mode, I praised you about 2 weeks ago. I said you were the beast of a team, but guess what? You came back down to earth. And I said that.
Yeah.
I said, be careful because you're going to come back down to earth, and you sure did with 83 points. You need a quarterback. Mr. Richardson, horrible. I'm sorry. I've seen it. The eye test. After he got hurt the first time, they called another running play. You and I couldn't believe it when we saw that play.
Yeah,
why? And he was out. Why would you do that?
already getting injured. You were injured on that play, and then you run again?
I think Brees Hall will be okay. I really do. Cook had an off day. Okay, he had an off day, played Baltimore. The game script, they were down, so he goes away. That shows you a lot, though. When they're down, they don't use Cook anymore. Is he not the pass catching back? No, he's not. He only had 1 reception for 9 yards.
It's not that he's not the pass catching back. It's just that they didn't really pass the ball a lot. Even Khalil Shakir didn't get the ball.
Yeah. And then you have
Dalton Kincaid didn't get the ball.
Then you got Mr. Hill, Tyreek. It's not looking good in Miami, so you might have to go alternate route there. Then you have DJ Moore. He's not getting the ball. 3 out of 6, 22 yards and 1 touchdown. I mean, he got the red zone target and he got the touchdown. But you know what? 3 catches for 22 yards?
I'm going to tell you what the problem is.
What's that?
There's 2 problems. 1, Caleb Williams growing pains. You're going to get that. And 3, Keenan Allen's back in the lineup.
Yep, I said it. Yeah,
it was a lot better with DJ Moore and just Odunze.
Yeah,
and you had Cole Kmet.
They should have never brought Keenan Allen back. I'm telling you, Chuba Hubbard's looking good. Nice little stud, little running back you had there. And then,
I was worried there for a second with Chuba.
Yeah, Chuba Hubbard looks good. He looks pretty decent. And then your bench, you have Mr. Jennings and Wan'Dale Robinson's a nice little wide receiver. You're gonna plug in. I think you're gonna sit Tyreek Hill this week and put Mr. Robinson in the game.
Or
I think so.
Smith
or Downs
too. Or Downs.
Well, Downs goes in the game. If Richardson plays, if Smoking Joe Flacco plays, you don't play him.
I don't know. I mean, listen, Smoking Joe Flacco came in and he targeted Pittman and he targeted Downs.
All right.
That's what you get with a veteran quarterback. You can see more than just one read.
Yeah. All right. So that brings, hold on now. Let me look here. That brings Mr. Brees Mode to 2-2 in the order. Off the snide. Commish, 1-3.
I'm 1-3.
All right.
Wow, that sounds
You want to talk about the last game? I'll talk about mine.
No. Listen, I'll bring it up.
You have to bring it up.
You can talk because I know you like to talk about your team. So Ricky Templars goes 3-1 against our sponsor this week, Cincy Sam. He falls back to reality at 2-2.
Mm-hmm.
What can I say? Second week in a row, highest points scored in the league. I know that makes you feel good.
Of course.
Your running backs. You know what? I'm going to let you talk about your team. All I can say about Cincy Sam is, again, 124 is a good amount of points. It's just unfortunately not enough.
All right.
Allen disappointed. Rashad White, Bucky Irvin's going to eat into his importance. Zach Moss had a good game.
Yeah, he did. And he got the receiving yards, too.
He did.
4 receptions, 27 yards, and touchdown.
Jamar Chase and Addison both,
Beast.
again, performed well. Kelsey came alive.
He sure did.
Dobbins was a little disappointment.
Yeah,
but and even Goddard, he started 2 tight ends. Goddard had a decent game, too. Again, all around, you can't complain. You scored enough. Well, I didn't say let's say you didn't score enough points, but you scored points. You just went up against a juggernaut, a buzzsaw in your team. Any other,
Well, I want
things
to.
you want me to say
No.
to make you feel good?
I like those.
Of
I like
how-
those. I like those key words in there.
Yes, you like
But no,
that.
let me talk about my team real quick. I finally got Jordan Love back after not having him for 3 weeks. He finally came back, 36 points. I love it. Kyron Williams is Kyron Williams. Alvin Kamara's 24. Marvin Harrison, I need him to get a little bit more catches. All right, 5 catches, 45 yards. He needs to get the ball a little bit more. We talked about that off the airs. Terry McLaurin is coming off. He's coming back. Him and Jaden Daniels are starting to link up. My tight end is still weak. I'm still searching, still looking.
You need a tight end, call me.
Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson has really erupted with the Red Rocket. He really has.
Okay, so there's something to be said about 6'4", 6'5", statuesque type quarterbacks. Andy Dalton and Joe Flacco. They proved that they can make your wide receivers that much better. I know that the league's going to this run first, or one read then run quarterback. Richardson thinks
I like
he's
a pocket
the second
quarterback.
the second coming of Cam Newton. But listen, these guys, they're inexperienced. They got to learn how to read a defense. One read, and that's it. Deontay wasn't getting the looks. Xavier Legette wasn't getting the looks. Josh Downs, Pittman weren't getting the looks. Now they are.
Yes, they are.
I'm not wishing these guys hurt, but you know what? Not everyone, even Pat Mahomes sat a year before he started, all right? Sometimes you need to sit and learn the game.
I agree. All right, then I had Olave. Olave did well. He's still nursing a little hamstring. And
Yeah,
then
we saw him come off a couple times.
Yeah, I
but-
saw him. I was too happy about that. Then my defense did well for me, bringing me to 3-1 and bringing Cincy Sam to 2-2. All right, that's the recap for week number 4. Now we're going to a big game, week number 5.
All right, we're going to leave your team for last.
We'll leave our teams for last, not just my
Okay,
team.
all right.
The first game on the docket that we're going to talk about is CD's Nuts versus Butter Sauce. This is a big game here because I need CD's Nuts to beat this man.
Hold on, I want to get because
All
I
right.
wrote everything down
So,
here.
as of right now, CD's Nuts had Joe Burrow, Josh Jacobs. Mixon is back, all right? If he is back, we don't know how he's going to be utilized, or we don't know if he's going to perform after coming back from injury. CD Lamb, Drake London, Ferguson, Pickens, Higgins, Queen. Looks like a good team. But let's not forget, my man, this one over here, Butter Sausage. All right, Jaden Daniels is doing well against a tough Cleveland defense, so we don't know. We don't know how that's going to be. Mr. Charbonnet. That's not good right there because you're starting Charbonnet as of now. Let me see his bench, who he has on his bench, who he may start. Montgomery. Oh, he's on a bye. Ooh, he's on a bye.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking here, really early in the week. We don't know what the eventual outcome is going to be. But right now is the way the team is, constituted and being put out there. I don't care if Charbonnet's playing or not. I'm still going with Butter Sausage in this
All
one.
right, so you're going Butter Sausage. And let me see who I have here. Ooh. I'm going CD's Nuts.
Okay.
I got you, CD. I got you.
Co-commissioner and me.
All right, next game. Brees Mode versus Semi-Retired. Who you got based
Well,
on the team?
Based on what I've seen so far, I'm going with Brees Mode on this one. I think he's going to make a big comeback this week. I don't think Brees Hall goes again for the awful game that he had last week. Godwin is going to come back. I know Evans got the looks this week. I think Godwin comes back, does something next week. Cook, I think, is going to have another good game. Stafford against Green Bay, by all accounts or by all looks of it, that's going to be kind of a shootout.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Stafford to have a much better game. It's another week that his wide receivers are in there learning the scheme and learning the timing with him. So I don't know. I think CD's Brees Mode is going to have a comeback game this week. That's all.
I think
and semi-retired is. I think it's just Bijan's. He's got too many underperforming people.
He sure does. I'm going Brees Mode in that game. All right, Team Cincy Sam versus Blue Samurai. Uh-oh. Be careful who you pick. Be careful. Let's look at the team here.
Okay, so this is predicted to be a really close game.
Not
This might
really.
be- yeah, well, it is. Take a look at the prediction of
saw
the
it.
scores.
I could
all
care
right?
less
So
about
is-
that.
No,
I was scheduled to lose every single game this year.
Yes.
So I don't
Yes,
care
and look
about
at you.
that.
You're 3-1. You're an extraordinary GM.
Oh, he's got J.K. Dobbins on the bye this week.
Yes, yeah. Listen, I went against Blue Samurai last week. I will not make that same mistake twice. I'm going with the bloody sword. Give me some Blue Samurai this week.
I got Blue Samurai winning this game, going 4-1. Wow, Blue Samurai doing his thing. All right, who's the next game we have? The King's Gambit versus Buff Fumble. Let's look.
All right.
He got-
Will Butt Fumble finally get off the snide?
Let's look.
Get a first
He's
win?
starting Justin Fields against Dallas. Roshan, Jonathan Taylor's hurt. He's out. Wilson, I got Team Buff Fumble winning game His first game of the year.
Yeah, I would have to go.
Team
I'm
Buff
going
Fumble.
with Buff Fumble, as you see here. I picked them already. I
Yep.
did my picks before you. Sorry, King's Gambit.
All right. I'll go with me. Leave the commissioner for last. Obviously, I love me some me, so I'm picking
Hey,
me.
that's my line. Enough. You
I'm-
got to stop using my
I want to hear your mouth.
shut your.
All right. I like that button.
So you like yourself? Unfortunately, I also like your.
Oh,
Sorry,
don't-
Knights of Krypton.
stop picking me, please.
General Zod over here, I think is gonna win. Unfortunately, your Superman, too much kryptonite.
I hope so. We'll see. That's a kiss of death. All right.
You're the kiss of death.
Last but not least, let's go to your game.
Yes, well, my feelings on me are immense.
Ooh, I don't know about this one here.
This is gonna be a tough one. Again, all my games are tough. I don't know.
If he leaves Pitts in there,
I'm
you
gonna
might
just
have a
throw
chance.
a coin up in the air and just come back.
I
and
got
hope
scary
it ends in
guys
me.
winning this game, going 3-2.
No,
You're
no.
going 1-4.
Yeah, well, that's okay. I'm picking me, obviously.
All right, that's all I have.
So we'll see who comes out next week. We're
We'll
gonna have
see.
to think of a prize for this. Who gets. Right now, I'm not doing too well. But I am making a college 5-1. That's
All
good.
right,
But
we'll
you
s-
can't be going 5-1. So I'm gonna have to go out and take some chances now.
Me
just to-
too.
We're four. All you have to do is play conservative.
I don't play conservative.
All right, listen. Hit the co-op for some trades and some free advice. He's always willing to give stuff that's beneficial to his team.
Yeah, no more phone calls, please, before the game starts. You're on
Yeah.
your own.
Yeah,
You're
that's
on your own. No more calls.
So listen, again, thanks for letting me use the
Anytime.
studio. We'll see you guys next week. Good night.
See you guys. Ciao.